Hey guys, what is going on? I took a break from Skyrim for a while after finishing the Dawnguard questline and did some other stuff for a bit while I was waiting for you guys to vote and suggest new things for me to do when I come back to Skyrim for my next playthrough, and I think I'm ready to do that now. So I've been looking at the comments you guys have made and what you guys have liked, and basically how I'm going to tally this up is I'm going to consider comments and likes as votes. So, for instance, if someone said, be an Argonian assassin in the comments section, I'm going to consider that a vote, but I'm also going to consider the likes that comment got as votes too. So say someone said, be an Argonian assassin, and then it got 6 likes. Well, that would technically be 7 votes for being an Argonian and being an assassin type character. However, I do believe you can like your own comment, and I didn't want people having a double vote just because they commented and then liked their own comment. So just as a safeguard, I'm going to take 1 like away. So for instance, in that particular case, if someone said, be an Argonian assassin, and then it got 6 likes, I would take away 1 like, making it 5 likes, making it 5 likes plus the comment equaling 6 total votes for being an Argonian and being an assassin. I hope that makes sense. If not, just listen to that again. I don't know. I mean, I know that's kind of confusing. But hopefully that'll make sense to you guys. Anyways, so I've been looking at what you guys had to say and trying to figure out what to do next, and I'm going to just sort of create a little scoreboard here to figure out what is going to happen in my next playthrough. So let's take a look at what you guys had to say, shall we? Okay, so first off, let it be said that I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these usernames correctly. I'm just going to sort of fumble through them. So let's take a look at the first one. Okay, so first off, YouTube user KC Skyrim says, hey Hopping, this is what I would like to see in your new character after this series. Download the latest Skyrim patch and play on legendary difficulty with as few mods as possible. Start Dragonborn ASAP, and complete Dragonborn entirely before returning to Skyrim. Plan how you will do the skill and character leveling before you start to be prepared for how you will respec your character when you get legendary in a skill. Would be very fun and interesting. So, okay, first of all, with the mods that I have installed, it's actually more difficult, or it's debatable whether or not it's more difficult than legendary difficulty. I really don't want to have a lot of dialogue following each of these comments, but I feel like I've got to say this. The vanilla Skyrim difficulty slider only makes the NPCs require more hits to go down, so basically makes them hit sponges. It's just a waste of arrows. It doesn't really add to the enemy AI or give them improved battle tactics or any of that stuff. Plus, I didn't like the fact that you had to shoot someone with an arrow 850 times in the face for them to go down. It's just unrealistic. It's not feasible. It's silly. And I don't like the vanilla Skyrim difficulty sliders. I don't like the changes they make. They don't change enemy AI, as I said. They only increase, I believe it is, they increase enemy damage so that you die quicker, and they decrease player damage so the enemies take much longer to kill. That's all it does. That's boring. That's horrible. It's shit. So I'm not gonna do that, unfortunately. If anything, I'm going to mod the game to make it more difficult, not just put it on legendary difficulty with as few mods as possible. Plus, this is a with way too many goddamn mods series, so I'm not going to do it, unfortunately, KC Skyrim, with as few mods as possible. But it will be very difficult. If that's what you're wanting to see, you're going to get to see that, trust me. But I will take your vote for starting the Dragonborn questline. I'll take that as 1 vote for Dragonborn and 1 vote for new character instead of sticking with Pookie. I've got new character versus sticking with Pookie, which is the character I've been playing with. So I'll take that for 1 vote of new character and 1 vote of Dragonborn questline, and move on to the next one. Okay, next up, YouTube user Wono30, I don't know, says, make next character DualWield Nord. Oh, and make it female and sexy. And that got 6 thumbs up, and that would technically be a vote of 7, except, as I said before, as a safeguard, just in case people are liking their own comments, I'm going to make that, like, I'm going to pretend as if that's 5 thumbs up instead of 6, for a total of 6 votes to comment and 5 thumbs up. I hope that still makes sense to you guys. It's basically a safeguard against people liking their own comments. Anyways, make next character DualWield Nord. Oh, and make it female and sexy. Okay, now I don't know if everybody liked this just because the guy said female and sexy and people saw those keywords and were like, yeah, that's what we want. But either way, I'm going to take this as a total of 6 votes for a new character, as opposed to sticking with Pookie. and I'm going to take it as a total of 6 votes for a Nord as the race, and I'm going to take it as a total of 6 as the type of character. I'm going to take it as a total of 6 votes for a dual-wield character. So that's kind of like 3. I'm separating these into things because obviously people are going to say all kinds of stuff, and it's my job to sort of piece that information together and put it into categories. So as far as male versus female, that's going to go in the female vote category. As far as new character versus sticking with Pookie, that's going to go in the create a new character vote category. And as far as the race, that's going to go in the Nord category, and as far as the type of character, that's going to go in the dual wield playthrough type category, for a total of 6 votes for each of those categories. So that's how this is going to work. Now, moving on to the next one. Alright, YouTube user lassenlayson says, stick with her, meaning Pookie. So that's 1 vote for sticking with Pookie as opposed to creating a new character. YouTube user DaveRobb says, we love Pookie! I'm going to consider that 1 more vote for sticking with Pookie. YouTube user Spartan3000, it's 4 zeros, that's all you need to know. Hypothetically, if you were to start a new character, I would recommend it to be an Argonian Brute, greatsword user, as well as heavy armor. Because they're badass, that's what I would go with, and his or her first major mission would be the Dragonborn. But I've grown attached to Pookie, so please don't get rid of her. Okay, so I'm gonna go with, he says hypothetically if you were to start a new character, but then at the bottom he says, please don't get rid of Pookie. So I'm gonna consider that 1 vote for sticking with Pookie, but I'm also going to, instead of, he said he suggested a new character, but he didn't really vote for a new character because he wants me to stick with Pookie. So I'm going to give that 1 vote for sticking with Pookie, but I'm also going to make it a vote for an Argonian. 1 vote for Argonian as the race. 1 vote for Brute, because he said Brute, greatsword user, as well as heavy armor. No specification on male or female there, so no votes either way. So, we got 1 vote for Argonian as race, 1 vote for Brute as type of character, and 1 vote for sticking with Pookie. Which, you know, I mean, if I stick with Pookie, obviously I won't be able to be an Argonian Brute. But I'll just have to let the votes of whether or not to stick with Pookie or create a new character decide that. And then move on from there. If I get enough votes to create a new character as opposed to sticking with Pookie, then I'll be taking his Argonian Brute suggestions into account at that point. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, next up, YouTube user KC Skyrim says, start a new character without any mods on legendary difficulty, just do the Dragonborn questline. But guess what, KC Skyrim, you already cast your vote. Wah, 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 wah. So I'm not going to take that one into consideration because you already voted for all those things, and each person can only vote once. I probably should have specified that before, but, I mean, it's kind of obvious. You don't get to say the same thing twice and have 2 votes counted, so moving on to the next one. Alright, next up, YouTube user Binehunter says, a new character would be cool, maybe a warrior type this time? You're awesome, and so are your vids. Ah, thank you, Binehunter. So, I'm going to put 1 vote in the new character category for that, the new character column category, whatever you want to call it. I haven't planned this shit out, man. I'm just going off the cuff here. Anyways, a new character, I'll put 1 vote into the new character column, and no specification on male or female or race, but we do have a specification on type of play, type of character, whatever you want to call it. She wants a warrior type. So I'm going to put that probably into the brute category, although, I mean, it could be argued that a warrior doesn't necessarily mean it's a brute, because a brute sort of implies sort of more of a heavy armor, two-handed weapons type character. So maybe I should just consider more in my head a warrior type as being just anyone who uses weapons and armor, and maybe even a bow and arrow could still be considered a warrior. You know what? I'm going to be pedantic about this, and I'm going to create a new warrior column and just throw a vote in there. So we got 1 vote for new character as opposed to sticking with Pookie, and 1 vote for warrior type of playthrough. Okay, moving on to the next one. Let's see what we got here. Okay, YouTube user wxexmxp says, the massive tabletop gamer RPer inside me says stick with Anya. Okay, 1 vote in the stick with Anya column. Okay, moving on. Okay, YouTube user gleb verit says new character, so that's 1 vote for the new character column. YouTube user gleb verit also says a battle mage or Khajiit would be really cool. Now, considering I told you guys people couldn't vote twice, but it's more like he's completing a thought, because his first comment said to create a new character. This one spells out what type of character and playthrough. So I'm not taking that as one cancels the other out, because he didn't say start a new character twice. He didn't say be a battle mage twice. He said two different things. He said start a new character in one post, and then sort of finished his thought by saying a battle mage or Khajiit. So I'm going to allow it, and I'm going to take that as one vote, because why not? I'm allowing other users to comment and taking several votes out of their one comment, depending on whether or not they say different things. So this guy gets one vote into the new character column, and one vote into Khajiit for the race, and one vote goes into battle mage as the type of character or type of playthrough. Okay, let's see what we got next. YouTube user Vathanacum, I guess, Vathanacum, I have no idea, says if you do a new character, maybe heavy armor would be cool for a change. I like the archery, but for close combat a type of sword would be cool as well. The race and gender I leave to you. Okay, so let's see here. We got, he says if you do a new character, but he doesn't suggest whether or not to do a new character or stick with Pookie, so I'm going to leave those two columns alone, but I am going to give one vote to, let's see, heavy armor and some type of sword for close combat. Would I call that a warrior or brute category? This is getting tricky and tedious now. But when someone says create a warrior type character, I don't really think of that as necessarily a brute, because a warrior type character to me is just a sword and shield type of guy, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a brute or a big brawler. So I think I'm gonna put this one into the vote for a warrior, because it's not necessarily a big brawler, brutish type character. So we got one vote for warrior column, category, whatever. Alright, moving on. Okay, YouTube user Billphil says make a naked male lizard. Okay, so I'm going to consider that one vote for the male category as far as gender, and one vote for Argonian. Okay, naked male lizard it is. Thank you very much, Billphil, for that suggestion. Alright, moving on to the next one. YouTube user Smashfox. Such a cool name, Smashfox. I'm going to legally change my name to that. Take a female frost elf. They can be really cute and they have a frost effect on their body, so it's really cool. I'm guessing a frost elf is some sort of modded race, some sort of race mod or something. You said take a female frost elf. I'm pretty sure you probably meant make a female frost elf. So I think I can probably take that as a vote for create a new character. But, oh, and also a vote into the female, as far as female versus male category. As far as frost elves specifically as a race, you're probably going to lose by default there, because a lot of these people aren't really going to be voting for modded races. A lot of people are voting for races that are sort of already in the game. So on the frost elf vote, I mean, I'll throw a vote in there if you want, but I'm pretty sure you're the only person that cast a vote for a modded race. So, so you're probably going to lose by default anyways, so I might as well not even consider that. Although, I mean, I don't have any problem with looking into modded races and using some, but right now I'm going on votes, I'm going on Vox Populi, I'm going on what the people want. Let the people speak! So, by default, you're going to lose that vote. But I'll take a vote for female in the female versus male category, and I'll take that as a vote for creating a new character. Moving on! Okay, YouTube user InDream88 says, well, maybe you make battle mage, only magic and one-handed this time. Or it could be fun playing some sort of illusionist. I recommend to use Apocalypse spell package. It adds a great number of really good spells and makes it so that you don't need to rely on destruction anymore. As of race, Breton or Imperial. So instead of trying to decide which one you prefer on that InDream88, I'm just going to add one vote to Breton and one vote to Imperial in the races column of my shitty little voting system here that you see. And I'm going to add one vote to Battle Mage as the type of character or type of playthrough or playstyle, whatever you want to call it. Moving on to the next commenter. Okay, YouTube user A Trolling Greybeard says, I think you should create a Dark Elf Vampire Assassin, or I had an idea about getting Sneak Tools mod and being an assassin with kitchen chef clothes. That's actually a pretty funny idea. I like that idea, and I do have the mod that lets you use a bunch of random static items in the game as weapons, like cooking utensils as weapons, and shovels and irons and all that stuff. So the thought of a crazy assassin who uses like random found things as weapons and dresses in chef's clothes is good, but I don't really have a voting column for crazy assassin who dresses in chef's clothes and kills people with cooking utensils. So, you know what, actually, maybe I should add that. I'll add a voting column for that, actually. Why not? What does it matter? It probably won't get any more, I mean, I doubt if anyone else said that same thing, so it's probably gonna only get one vote. But whatever, I'll do it anyways. I will consider that one vote also for creating a new character as opposed to sticking with Pookie. I'll consider that one vote for Dark Elf in the races section. And I will consider that one vote for Assassin as the type of playthrough. It's a pretty cool idea, trolling Greybeard. Alright, moving on to the next one. Alright, YouTube user Lewis McCotter says, for your next playthrough you should do Dragonborn with this character. So that's one vote for playing Dragonborn questline and one vote for sticking with Pookie. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Should I even be taking votes for what quests to do next? Or should I just be sticking to what type of playthrough and what type of character? It doesn't matter. I already sort of started this, so we'll add that as one vote for Dragonborn questline and as far as what to do, and one vote for sticking with Pookie. Alright, moving on. Okay, YouTube user SC Irish Bear says, if you do another game, Mount and Blade, love that game. If you continue with Skyrim and a new character, I'd try a Shadow Scale, the Argonian Assassins, or a serial killer. I always liked serial killers in Skyrim. Okay, so I'm going to, he said if you continue with Skyrim and a new character. He didn't say create a new character, he said if. So I'm not going to give that a vote for create a new character, but I am going to give it a vote for Argonian in the race column and Assassin in the type of playthrough column, or, you know, occupation, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And then serial killer, that's interesting. Should I add a serial killer column and give it a vote? Why not? Yeah, I gave crazy chef who kills people with cooking utensils a column, so let's give serial killer a column. As far as I mean, would that be occupation? Would that be, I don't know, whatever. We'll give it a call. We'll give it a vote. We'll give it a vote. So we got one vote for Argonian in race column, one vote for assassin, and one vote for serial killer. Alright, moving on. YouTube user Leak67 says, you should do Dragonborn. That's one more vote for the Dragonborn questline. Alright, moving on. YouTube user The Clay Cutter says, start a new character and play as a Khajiit and do what you want. Do what you want. I like that. That's good, Clay Cutter. Start a new character. That gets one vote, as opposed to sticking with Pookie and Khajiit in the race column. Yeah, okay. So one vote for new character, one vote for Khajiit. And moving on. Okay, YouTube user Elizar18 says Dragonborn DLC with the same character. So that's one more vote for playing through Dragonborn and one vote for sticking with Pookie. Okay, moving on. YouTube user DaveRobb says, what about a Berserker? Light or no armor, two-handed or dual wielding, and no healing spells or potions during combat. Okay, so no recommendation on race or on male versus female, but we've got sort of a playthrough suggestion here. Light or no armor. With the mods I have, I don't think you would want to see no armor unless it was unless the character were a female. So but anyways, yeah, light or no armor. Okay, that's not really a brute, because I think of a brute as more of a sort of a heavy armor two-handed weapon character. This could be sort of like just a naked dude running around dual wielding, so not necessarily a brute. I'll add a new category for this, call it the Berserker category, and give it one vote just for you, DaveRobb, just for you, buddy. Alright, let's see what we got next. Okay, YouTube user DI82794 says, I think you should start Hearthfire and build a house. Find a mate for Pookie and adopt a few children. Her adventuring days are over and she has quite a few stories to one day tell her grandchildren. Okay, but that would be continuing I mean, that would have to be like an entire playthrough of her just living her life and having kids and getting married and growing old. I don't think I'm gonna do that, but I will give it a vote for sticking with Pookie, because I think that's probably a valid vote to take from this comment. Since you want to see Pookie grow old and have children. So, no, I don't think I'm going to make an entire playthrough of Pookie growing old and adopting children and getting married and having grandchildren. Maybe someday. If you guys really want to see Pookie grow old and die and have kids and all that good stuff. But for now, I'm just going to take that as a vote for sticking with Pookie. Thanks for that, DIA2794. Alright, moving on to the next one. Okay, YouTube user InDream88 back again. But this time he suggests a Breton battlemage. Now you already had your vote for battlemage, so I'm going to take that as a vote for Breton in the races category, because you didn't say that last time. So I'll go ahead and give you a vote for Breton. As far as races, and you say stay away from main DLC and guild stories. You didn't say that before, so I'm going to also give you a vote for no Dragonborn. So I'll take that as one vote against Dragonborn DLC, and one vote for Breton as the race. But everything else you said, pretty much you already said before, so you don't get any more votes. Like, for instance, you don't get 2 votes for battlemage because you already said that in your other comment, Mr. Indream88. But anyways, okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, YouTube user I'm not even gonna try to say that. Mr. Original Hardcore. Okay, there we go. I did it. Yay, I did it. Mr. Original Hardcore says modded quests! Exclamation! Smiley face! Exclamation! So, okay, do I have a column for that yet in the voting thing that we're doing? I see a lot of you guys said so many different things. I'm just sort of creating like a new column to place new votes for like all these different things you guys are saying, just to sort of try to keep things organized and maybe come up with some idea of what I should do next. Modded quests. Okay, well, we got 1 vote last time from a guy saying he didn't want to see any DLC. Oh, he did say he wanted to see modded quests, though, didn't he? Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. I'll throw in a vote for modded quests. Have other people that have been saying do modded quests? Have I been giving them a vote, or am I just now putting up the column for it? I don't remember. This is all getting too confusing. Let's move on. Okay, YouTube user Billphil says new character, maybe a brute type character or something else, but I stand firm for a new character. Okay, Billphil, you get 1 vote for new character as opposed to sticking with Pookie, and we get 1 more vote in the brute category. Alright, moving on to the next one. Okay, YouTube user Tiger Jake Takenochi says, these usernames, man, they're getting tough for me here. Alright, well, I didn't want to ask this because you've done the vampire side of Dawnguard, but might as well throw it in there. I was thinking you should do the Dawnguard side as a werewolf, but you'd have to make a new character, which is why I didn't suggest it. Well, I just finished Dawnguard, man. I'm not gonna play all the way through it again. I mean, do I really have to take a vote for playing through Dawnguard again? Jesus Lord. Okay, so you want me to do Dawnguard as a werewolf. I'm pretty sure people don't want me to play through Dawnguard again right after finishing it, jump right back into it from the beginning. But I might as well take it as a vote because I know probably nobody else is going to vote for it, and so it's probably going to lose by default. Let's see, you'd have to make a new character, which is why I didn't suggest it. Maybe use a mace or dual wield weapons with stat boosting spells. Alright, all that I can really find in this to take a vote on is for a dual wield character. So I'm going to add that to the dual wield category. Although, could that fall under the warrior category as well? Yeah, I believe it could. Let's throw in a vote for the warrior category for that one. Yeah, okay, moving on. Alright, YouTube user Spudsy says, the character we all want. You should play as Gregory. A black sheep, you come from a clan of traveling bards and witch doctors who mocked you for your brute strength and lack of any real talent. One day your entire clan was murdered by a bear that only you were able to defeat in a wrestling match. Sporting a handlebar mustache, you ventured the lands of Skyrim, honing your muscles, looking for like-minded warriors to test your strength in honorable combat. You hate bears and alchemists. This is a great suggestion. This is like up there with making an assassin who kills people with cooking utensils and wears chef's clothes. Okay, so what can I actually take from this as votes, though? Gregory, well, that would be a vote for a male character, I think, right? Let's see, Traveling Bard, Witch Doctor, Brute Strength, okay, we'll put a vote for Brute, for the Brute category. Okay, so a vote for the male category, a vote for the Brute category. What else we got here? I guess it would be pretty funny though if I made a female who was sporting a handlebar mustache. Okay, this is sort of like a Brute character here basically though, so I'll give a vote for male and a vote for Brute. And you know what? I'm gonna do a vote for Traveling Bard because that's kind of what I want to do anyways. Do I get a vote? That's another question, guys. Do I get a vote in my own playthrough? Because I wanted to do a playthrough where I kind of do what you guys say and kind of like make you guys feel like you're involved that way and like I really care about what you guys have to say, because I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taking this much time going through this trouble to you know, tally up all your votes and read them all like this and everything. So I obviously do care what you guys think. But should I be able to cast in my own vote? Because I sort of had this idea for my next playthrough as a backstory where I would be born into a family of traveling bards, but then my entire family gets killed, and I basically go out. It would be a vengeance story. I'd be going out for vengeance, but like my on top of like obviously the playthrough would be like my character going to different inns and playing songs as a bard to earn money to work his way up, which would be cool because I have the mod that lets you actually play instruments at inns and taverns and earn money doing so and actually gain a reputation and stuff. So I thought it'd be really cool, and I could use the Gypsy Eyes Caravan mod to have like a traveling caravan to travel around in from town to town playing my songs as a traveling bard. So that was going to be my cool backstory of my next playthrough, at least in my head. It's kind of like what I wanted, not taking any votes into consideration, just kind of what I think would be fun to do next, basically. And then like have this backstory of like your family got slaughtered and you're out for vengeance, you're trying to maybe hunt the guy down or find him or whatever. But the main playthrough would just be me sort of traveling from town to town and working my way up, you know, playing instruments in taverns to earn a reputation and to gain gold. And then it wouldn't just be that. Obviously, I'm not going to spend the whole game playing songs at taverns, but that would just be like sort of my character's backstory. But anyways, so just because Spudsy also said I should be a traveling bard, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, I'm going to add a traveling bard column and give it a vote. And let me know what you guys think about that backstory and if you think it'd be kind of cool. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Okay, YouTube user BeatingBird says, I think you should do modded character with a backstory of getting raped, family kidnapped, or something like that, and now he or she wants her revenge. And that's exactly what I was saying. Yes, that's actually kind of what I wanted to do. It's like you read my mind there, man. Or was it my sort of subconsciously like seeing your suggestion? I don't know. I don't know if I thought of that or you thought of it first and then I read what you said and liked it and it sort of implanted itself in my brain for days. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, that's cool. This doesn't really go into any column because I don't really have anything for that, but I don't have like a backstory column where people vote on an entire backstory. But I just wanted to like point out yours because it sort of coincides with what I wanted to do a little bit. So anyways, let's move on to the next one. Alright, YouTube user ZRealCat says, anything but Dragonborn, or any questline for that matter. People here seem to want questline playthroughs, but if this is going to happen all over again, I don't think I'll stay subbed, especially since I'm still to play through that new content and don't want spoilers. I'd like to see you start a brawly, two-handed, heavy weapon swinging style of play rather than bow and flames for a change, something I hardly ever see in Skyrim videos. Those big pieces of metal are fun as hell to use. And he got 4 thumbs up, 4 likes on that comment. So I'm gonna count that as a vote of 4 in total, because remember, I take away one like in case they liked their own comment. It's just sort of a safeguard thing. So I'm gonna take that as a total vote of 4, 1 for the comment and 3 likes, because only 3 likes are absolutely not his. You know what I'm saying? There's only a way to prove, there's no way to prove that all 4 of them are people other than him. But I can absolutely prove, because you can't like your own comment twice, that at least 3 of them are not ZRealCat liking his own comment. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? Alright, I was just trying to further clarify that. But anyways, so 4 total votes for no Dragonborn, or no quest line. I don't know, should I give that should I also say that's 4 votes for not doing any quest lines? I mean, I gotta do some quest line at some point, right? I mean, even if it's like a side quest. I think I'll probably stumble into side quests in my exploring, for even for those of you that don't want to see any quest playthrough and just want to see sort of random exploring and just finding new shit, unearthing secrets and all that good stuff. I probably will eventually, even if I do that, I'm eventually at some point going to stumble into some sort of quest. So I don't know if I can even really feasibly take votes for not doing any quest line. But as far as main quest lines and DLC quest lines, as another user mentioned, not wanting to see me do those, I can feasibly take votes for that, because I could always occupy my time with, you know, endless amounts of side quests. But I can't just not do any quests at all whatsoever. So I'll just take that as a vote for basically not doing Dragonborn. Of 4 votes actually against doing Dragonborn, because I got 4 likes plus the comment. So let's see, anything else? 1 vote for a brute, because I consider a brawly 2-handed heavy weapon swinging character to be sort of a brute. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so thanks for the comments, ZRealCat. Moving on to the next one. Let's see what we got. Alright, YouTube user Tiger Jake Takanochi. I think you are actually already gave me a comment before, but now you say the ash pile you were searching for was in fact Serana. When you go back in the vid where you were searching the ash pile, you'll see Serana's name in the bottom left corner. As far as another Skyrim with way too many goddamn mods, the Django Unchained one would be pretty epic, where you just go around and kill anything that walks. So I mean, I think that's a fun idea. Actually, I was considering doing like a Machinima series featuring my Django character, where he would like take up bounty. He would be a bounty hunter, and he would just go around Skyrim slaughtering people in horrifically gruesome ways. And I think that would be really cool. But I doubt if a lot of other people are going to vote for me to make my Django character for the next playthrough, or if even a lot of the people have even seen that video. I don't know. But I'll throw in a vote for Django anyways, because I think it's kind of a fun idea. So Django gets 1 vote. And that's it. That's all of the comments I got in all of the videos from the time that I said, hey guys, please vote on what you want to see me do next, to my last video. I took all the comments from all of those from you know, from that time period. Well, not all of them, obviously. I mean, I got a lot of other comments, but I only took into consideration, obviously, the comments that related specifically to this, the comments that were voting on what for me to do for my next playthrough. So I took all of those comments, and that's what I used for this video. So here's what here's my crazy madman scribblings here. What we're leaning toward here is new character. Pookie, Stick with Pookie was outvoted. New character won by 10 points, so it's definitely going to be a new character. Dragonborn started out getting a lot of votes, but then quickly went back down to 0. So sorry for those of you that wanted me to see that wanted to see me do the Dragonborn questline. That might still be potentially a possibility for something I do in the future. But for now, it's got 0. So, what about race? Nord is still in the lead at 6 votes. We got Argonian had 3, so that was a close second. Then Khajiit and Breton were tied at 2 points, followed by Imperial Berserker and Dark Elf. So Nord leads the pack. So it's going to be a new character, a new Nord character, male and female. Female wins by 5 points with a total of 7 points. So it's going to be a female Nord, new character. And we got what type of character? Well, we got Brute, Warrior, Assassin, and I know these are kind of I mean, some of them could almost fit into each other. For instance, I should probably add dual wield into the warrior category, because a dual wield character is also sort of a warrior, which would actually make the points on that one 9. But I don't know, it's hard to say. I mean, brute got 7, that was all just people who specifically used the word brute specifically, or said that they wanted a big brawly, two-handed weapons, heavy armor type character. So now the thing with dual wield that I feel like I should point out for you guys is that with the mods that I'm using, dual wielding characters become sort of a not a very feasible option for play, because it's the blocking. I don't believe you can block while dual wielding, and with Skyrim and Asus, and I'll get into all the mods I'm using in the next video, because I'm going to do an introductory video talking about all the mods, or at least some of the mods. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But basically, what I'm getting at here is that it's not really a viable option to be a dual wield character with the mods that I have installed, because if you can't block, you're fucked with these difficulty mods. So even though that got a lot of votes, there's not really anything I'm going to be able to do about it. I'm not really going to be able to be a dual wield character. The only thing that makes dual wielding a viable option with the particular mods that I have installed is this other mod that you add on top of that adds a dual wielding block animation and lets you block while dual wielding, and all this stuff. So I mean, I could, I guess, theoretically add that mod in and see how it works, but it's a fairly complicated endeavor to get that mod to work, from what I understand, and I don't know if I'm necessarily going to want to get into that. So just so you guys know, dual wield did get quite a few votes, but I don't know if I'd be able to even do it, even if I wanted to. But it doesn't matter, because brute sort of won out anyways. And warrior kind of falls in line with dual wield anyways, so if you guys don't mind, I think I'm just going to throw in those 6 dual wield votes for a warrior into the warrior category, which would technically make warrior a win. But warrior and brute are pretty similar anyways, so I mean, we could just say that this character is going to be a female Nord brute warrior. I mean, what's wrong with that, right? Now, as far as backstory, I had a couple funny suggestions. We got the chef assassin who uses cooking utensils and random found items to kill people. We got traveling bard who wrestles bears apparently, and his family was slaughtered, and all of their goods stolen, and now he spends his days working in taverns, playing his instruments to earn up enough money while he tries to hunt down the man that, you know, to exact vengeance on the man that killed his family. So a couple interesting backstories, but overall the most important thing is, based on you guys' votes, I've got a character. So it's going to be a new character, a female Nord, brute warrior. And yeah, I mean, so that's cool. And no Dragonborn, that got voted out. And no Dawn, I know it still says Dawnguard 1, but no Dawnguard, because the votes would have also counted toward that, but I just forgot to take it back down to 0. We actually got 2 votes for Assassin. Can you be a brute warrior assassin? I don't know. I guess you could technically. So, but yeah, we got the basics down. We got a new character, a female Nord brute warrior. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I don't know how brutish I'm gonna make her. I might lean more toward the warrior side. Like, I'm not gonna make it all two-handed, no shields, no archery, no spells, just, you know what I mean? I'm gonna balance it out a little bit for the gameplay's sake, especially with all the difficulty mods I have installed. And maybe a little bit of tweaking based on the backstory I come up with, but I will try to stick as closely as possible to what you guys wanted to see based on these votes and suggestions. So, that being said, that's it. I know this was a long video. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but there were so many awesome comments and suggestions, and I had to go through them all and tally up the votes to see where we stand. And I also just want to let you guys know how much I really do appreciate your input, and appreciate all of you guys just being viewers and being subscribers and liking my stuff and commenting on it and being so supportive. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every subscriber I get, and every view, and every like, and every comment. And keep it up, guys. You guys are awesome. And anyways, that's it. So now you guys know that I was actually listening to what you had to say, and you guys know what my next character is going to be, or at least a little bit, you know, the basics. So anyways, in the next video, I'm going to introduce some of the mods. I'm going to try not to make it too drawn out like this one is sort of getting, but I'm going to introduce some of the mods that I'm going to be using and the effect they'll have on gameplay, because there was some confusion in the last playthrough as to the mods I was using, and I kept trying to direct people to my Facebook page, and a lot of people weren't finding the mods and stuff like that. So I'm going to do just a basic rundown of some of the mods, not all of them, but I'm going to introduce some of the mods that are going to be like largely affecting the gameplay. Especially difficulty mods and overhaul mods and things like that. Just a quick introductory on what they do and what they're about. And then after that video, I will do my official first video of my next playthrough of Skyrim. And I don't know if I'm gonna call it Let's Play Skyrim with way too many goddamn mods again, part 1, or you know, give it another name like Let's Play Skyrim modded to hell. Or something. I'm not really sure yet, but I kind of want to differentiate it from the last one so I can make it a part 1 and kind of start fresh. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm gonna get out of here. Anyways, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, send me hate messages, start a flame war, whatever you want to do, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm so down and dirty and so low. I'm so down and dirty and so